welcome to this little video in an occasional series on movies. Now, a friend at work happened to mention a movie to me the other day that I had completely consigned to the memory attic. So completely that I struggled to even recall it at first. And he also happened to mention something about this movie that intrigued me, particularly the fact that he'd been to see it as a teenager many times in a short space of time. And there was a particular reason for that. So I thought, why not make a short video about it? Now, the movie in question is a mid-1970s rock musical horror comedy. Not that one. This one is 1974's Phantom of the Paradise. Like its thematic cousin, the Rocky Horror Picture Show, neither achieved instant fame and commercial success on release. But while Rocky Horror Picture Show went on to pretty quickly to cult status and eventual widespread public consciousness, Phantom of the Paradise has somewhat languished in relative obscurity, although it has gathered a lot of cult status now and is much more recognised. But at the time it was released, there was one specific market in North America where, one surprising part of the world where it became a huge hit. Now, for some background, Phantom of the Paradise was written and directed by Brian De Palma before he went on to future directorial fame with great movies such as Carrie, Dressed to Kill, Blowout, and Oscar winner The Untouchables, all very much favourite movies of mine. He's always been one of my favourite directors, but Phantom is so obscure that even I had forgotten about it. The music was scored by the diminutive songster Paul Williams, who also stars in the film as devious music producer Swan, who rips off young composer Winslow Leach, played by William Finley. And embittered Leach then goes on to terrorise Swan's titular Paradise Theatre in revenge. It also starred the excellent Jessica Harper, who was the lead in one of my all-time favourite horror movies, 1977's Suspiria, and in a trivia coincidence, starred in the sequel to Rocky Horror Picture Show. So I don't want to do an in-depth video on the movie, as there are many fine reviews already on YouTube, but I would say that I think Phantom is closer to Tommy in feel than Rocky Horror. That's just in my humble opinion, and that is not a bad thing. No, I'm more fascinated by the hit status of this movie in one cold and windswept Canadian prairie town, Winnipeg, Manitoba, hometown of my work colleague, who just happened to mention the movie, and he was a teenager at the time it was released in Winnipeg and became a big hit. So back in the day, in the distant mists of the 1970s, you could have regional hit bands, records, and yes, even hit movies. Nowadays, the same stuff is released globally at the same time, on the same content platforms, and there's less chance of something becoming a local hit. But that's exactly what happened with Phantom in The Peg, as it's known. Now, Winnipeg, home of Randy Bachman, Burton Cummings, and once upon a time Neil Young, had a massive hit on its hands when Phantom opened on December 26, 1974. It played continuously for 4 months and continued to play in theatres there for months after that. The soundtrack album sold 20,000 copies alone, and people in the Peg would go and see it multiple times, one of them being my friend at work, who saw it 6 times. Since then, there have been cast reunions and fanfares in the Peg over the years, and put simply, Winnipeg is in love with the Phantom. There's been a 2019 documentary detailing this, the Phantom of Winnipeg, and it goes into depth about the phenomenon. And in it, they explore the possible reasons for this city's love affair with the movie. Is it the long, dark winters? Is it the isolated prairie location? Is it something in the water? Or just a sensibility that the locals have? Perhaps we'll never fathom it, but I say fair play to Winnipeg. You kept a cult movie alive, and that's a wonderful and amazing thing. On a personal note, much of the movie was filmed in the historic downtown Majestic Theatre in Dallas, where I have been to many gigs, so I have a little taste of what gave the movie some of its unique atmosphere. Anyway, thanks for watching this video. Please hit the like and subscribe button if you did, and until next time, dream until it never ends.